Welcome back to the She Decides podcast. This episode is a special one, recorded live in Miami at She Decides, a celebration of women on April 16th, where an incredible room of women came together for connection, conversation, and inspiration. In this fireside chat, Staci Swiderski and Marla Neufeld dive into what it really takes to build and lead successful businesses, especially when facing challenges, outside opinions, and even critics along the way. The conversation also brings a lighter, real-life perspective, touching on how powerful women show up fully, balancing leadership, confidence, and yes, even their beauty routines, because success and self-expression can go hand in hand. Moderated by Fitz Koehler, this live discussion is honest, dynamic, and a true reflection of what She Decides stands for. Enjoy the episode, because when she decides, she shows up fully in every part of her life.
Okay, so we have a little fireside chat. We're going to get to know our founder and one of our special guests. But first, I want to introduce, again, the reason of the season right here, Wilma's She Decides collection. So I was introduced to Staci Swiderski about 6 months ago. She invited me to be a guest on her podcast. And so this is what I knew about her. I knew she had a podcast, the She Decides podcast. If you're not listening to it, you should be. It's fantastic. She's an incredible host, and she has phenomenal guests, and she's all about promoting you and making you better and entertaining you as well. And then I learned she had a jewelry collection, and I looked and I went, wow, this stuff is actually really nice, very pretty, very elegant. And so She Decides jewelry collection. I was very impressed. And then I decided to have her on my podcast, The Fitzness Show. And I made a very intelligent decision the night before to say, could you send me a bio? And then I got to the good stuff. She not only does this stuff with jewelry and entertainment, but she is the founder and CEO of Family Source Consultants. And she specializes in egg donation and surrogacy. She is responsible for over 1,500 little humans being born. Incredible, and helping so many men and women become parents. So, Staci Swiderski, everybody. Yeah, I'm in love. I was like, oh my gosh, this is even better than I thought. Wow. Okay, and then next up, her special guest, someone that she thought was very important to have here with us today. This is Marla Neufeld. Marla, I'm going to read. I don't normally read, but I want to get it right. She is a partner in the Greenspoon Marder LLP surrogacy and assisted reproductive technology practice group. That's right. She's an attorney who supports folks that are dealing with infertility issues and wants to become parents. She's experienced her own infertility journey for many years, and she ultimately worked with a gestational surrogate to build her family. She's the mother of not one, but 2 little boys, right? 11 years old. Incredible. And she co-authored a book published by the American Bar Association titled The ABA Guide to Assisted Reproduction, Techniques, Legal Issues, and Pathways to Success. We've got beauties, we've got brains. Let's give it up for Staci and Marla. All right, so they are all mic'd up, but I have some questions for them, and then if you have some, you can raise your hands. But ladies, how did you get involved doing what you're doing? I'm going to start with you, Marla.
Yeah, well, as she said, I went through many years of infertility. I had reoccurring miscarriages. So it was a very difficult journey, just trying to get pregnant, and I tried all the stages. If anyone's gone through infertility, there's IUI, IVF, and ultimately, I worked with a surrogate to have my twin boys. I'm so grateful that the process worked, and going through that process personally really shaped me, starting the surrogacy practice group at my law firm. I work at a very large 300-person law firm, and I approached the managing partner and said, look, I'm so passionate about this area, I'm going through it personally, and they allowed me to start this practice group at my firm. And so Staci and I have the pleasure of working together for many, many years. Surrogacy, not to get into the legalities of it since it's not a legal conference, but it's state specific. So Staci and I have the opportunity to work together for her Florida matches. And she does a lot of work in Florida finding surrogates and egg donors. So that's how we have the ability to work together. And short and sweet, that's my story.
Well done. Well done. All right. And Staci, same thing.
Yeah, so same thing. I started my company back in 2007, Family Source Consultants. I have a son through surrogacy. He is, my goodness, he's going to be 21, so he's a junior in college over at Purdue. Plays baseball, so much fun. Yeah, that really was my business bug, was starting that. And ladies, when I started my company, I didn't really have so much of a business background per se. I was in sales. I was in real estate, and that was my jam. And then just over the years, my agency grew. A lot of hard work, a little bit of grit. Got to do a little bit, when you were running your own business. And then I also had the opportunity as well, after I completed my surrogacy journey. I was also an egg donor, again, many years ago. I'm too old for it now. But yeah, so that really is what started my business entrepreneurial, spark. And then here we are.
How many people do you employ? I should say, how many Americans do you employ?
Yes, good question. We have about 27 team members. Yeah.
That's 27 people feeding their families, having a house to live in.
And that is something I'm so proud of.
Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, incredible. All right, so Marla, what's the hardest thing about what you do and the best thing about what you do?
Well, being an attorney is very stressful. Dealing with clients, be good and bad. You just have to be the leader to them and deal with a lot of different personalities. I think in all business, it's finding a way to assert yourself in your position in the role. Be kind but firm, so you're not taken advantage of. I think being a woman has its own challenges to make sure that you're not advantage of, but that you're respected and that you know what you're doing. And so I think just commanding respect is, and dealing with different people.
1 second, she just said kind but firm. Repeat after me, kind but firm. Go on. And the best thing about what you do?
Oh, I mean, the obvious, just helping build families. It's so amazing. I'm so happy and blessed for my personal experience and what I get to do professionally. And working with wonderful people like Staci, we're so collaborative. And it's really an amazing perk of the job.
Thank you. Staci, same questions. Hardest and best part?
Oh, yeah. The hardest, I would say, is staff. Staff. Because you want everybody to be happy, right? But you got to hold them accountable at the same time. So that's tough. But we have such an amazing team. But it starts with leadership and works its way down. And that is just having a real positive accountability head culture, really. So that's probably the toughest. And easy question or easy answer is the babies when they're born. And then also, the jewelry, women who are just feeling empowered. Anytime they purchase a piece of jewelry, they put it on. I have my go-to. My go-to is literally just a herringbone little bracelet. And that's just something I can't leave the house without all the time. It's just one of those things. It's a mentality, your mental, hey, you feel naked without it. Yeah. And I just love business. I love being able to help people, make people feel beautiful, wonderful, empowered. And that's why all you ladies are here today. Yeah.
All right, so you two are already at the top of your game. And so there's a diverse group here, and there's a whole bunch of women at the beginning of their game, right? And business can be scary. And I know there's especially a crowd, that's the influencer crowd. They're putting everything out there, and it's scary to fail. And I have failed my face off so hard. I've failed and failed and failed, and I'm sure you both have as well. What is your advice to them when they hit failures, and how do you keep going?
Oh yeah, don't be afraid to fail. That's how you learn. You're gonna fall and fail more times than you're gonna succeed. And that just, you just get up and just do it again. And I think too, and I think this is really relevant now, is especially with social media and all the influencers and just in general, don't worry about what people think. If you feel like, oh God, I got to jump on this, I'm going to do a video, and you find yourself redoing it over and over and over for perfection, and then you're editing after you're doing that, and don't worry about it. Be you, be authentic. And if you do that every single day, it's just going to get easier and easier and easier. So really try to, avoid the naysayers, surround yourself around a really positive group of people in your life, and you'll reach that success. Yeah.
And Marla?
Staci and I talked about this at the beginning. I mean, there can be kind of haters as you enter a new industry. There's people that have been doing it before you, and
people that are trying to get into it at the same time as you. And I think for me, it's getting like the tough skin to kind of just put your horse blinders on and just ignore that and move forward. And people might say mean things about you or not act kindly to you, but don't let that stop you. I mean, my husband heard me cry many times about people I felt like maybe didn't like me or weren't open to me entering a new industry, but you just power forward and, plug along.
So I'm going to tap onto this. One of the things when I was getting started out, I really feared the word no. Does anyone else get a little nervous? People are going to tell them no? Yeah, it was terrifying to me. At the same time where I was being a weakling in business, I was also competitively kickboxing. So I did that for about 10 years. And there was one specific thing I won't go too far into, but I really wanted, but I was afraid to ask. And then I left one particular training session and I thought, you fool, you stand in an arena with thousands of people surrounding you and someone who wants to knock you completely unconscious. And you're afraid that this guy might tell you no. It's absurd, right? So my policy, it's a very strict policy, is it does not incur bleeding, bruising, or broken bones. I go for it every single time, no matter what. So you got that bleeding, bruising, broken bones.
Okay, so Marla, I'm going to start with you. And you are so beautiful. And there's one thing to be brilliant and professional and do all the right things, but also you're doing things right with your beauty. So give us, how do you put yourself together for a courtroom or all the important things you do?
All the hearings are on Zoom. So I look usually like this here, halfway up, and then I'm wearing Ugg slippers halfway down. I mean, I'm also a mom, and I work full time. So most days I don't look like this. I'm in sweatpants, but I mean, it's just about finding the time to, take care of yourself. I make it a priority for me to exercise. I try to every day. That's not easy, but I think just finding ways to put yourself first is really important.
Brilliant. Staci.
Yeah, I think it starts with confidence. Try to have confidence with yourself. That's what I said. Avoid people who are putting you down. And remember, anybody who's putting you down or not cheering you on is because they have their own insecurities, and they're probably a little pissed that you guys are putting yourself out there and wanting to do good for yourself, right? So, yeah, just confidence. And then, what gets me going is sometimes it's literally getting up and moving. Get out of the house, get some of that sunshine, and again, surround yourself around supportive, positive people, and be a friend yourself too to other people. Be a friend yourself. It's funny with the name of the company and the podcast, She Decides. A lot of people are like, "Oh, it's women empowerment, and so it's men against women." I'm like, that is not it at all, ladies. This is for us women to support one another all the time. Instead of tearing each other down, we want us all to win. I've been in too many rooms, and I'm sure you have as well, where it is all men. And sometimes there's only I've been there. I've been the only woman. And so it's maybe you're looked down upon or whatever, but just get that confidence and take up space. Get in that room, sit in that table, take up space, just because they will, right? They'll spread their legs out. They'll do all that. No offense, Ray. But yeah, take up that space and do you each and every time. So important. And again, like I said, people are like, oh, it's a he-man, she-man, a hate club with men, and not I've been happily married for 25 years, and my husband's the bomb. He's been one of my most supportive persons. So it's not against men, it's women coming together and wanting each other to win.
Yes. All right. Thank you. Let's give it up for Staci and Marla with the golden nuggets galore. You all have a few more minutes to enjoy your lunch, and then we're going to bring up our keynote speaker.
Excited.
Also, if you haven't done so yet, of course, She Decides collection on Instagram, and She Decides podcast also on Instagram. That's right.
You're so cute.
Where do people find you? Are you on Instagram or anything?
I am. I think my name is Marla Neufeld, lawyer. I'm so bad at Instagram.
She's like, I'm somewhere, find me. Maybe go do the tap thing on the phone, right?
I learned how.
There you go. And I'm Fitzness, Fitzness. We could be besties. All right.